Welcome to ASHA's IS Institute. This is current affairs for 14th October 2016. Now in today's paper, we have picked up a list of around 15 news items from the Hindu paper. So this should not be mind-boggling because if you have been doing current affairs daily, even from 1st October 2016, majority of these news items are a succession and extension of those same news which have been going on for so long. So now even the articles and other special issues which come up are also based on current events news only. So a clear understanding of these topics is very important. Taking a look now, the first point is draft water bill suggests basin level management. So we have seen the interstate water dispute on Kaveri river water management. So now the government is coming up with a draft bill, National Water Management Bill. This bill will look into basin level river water management. So every state which falls in the river water basin, those states will have access to water, equitable access to water. Now the term equitable is different from equal. So first the bill says there will be a study of how much each state contributes to the river water flow. So based on that, equitable distribution will be done, means based on how much they contribute to the river water flow, that much they would get as their share. So this is a complete comprehensive bill which government is planning to frame up and put forth before the cabinet, then will be introduced in the parliament. But one point is that even after this bill is passed, water management still remains under the state list. So it will not be binding on the state governments. They may adopt or not adopt this bill. But this is a initiative which central government has taken to resolve such disputes. Next is our Chief Minister's public servants. This is regarding the disproportionate assets case against Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha. Now the thing is that the PIL which has been put forth asks a question that are Chief Ministers also public servants? So public servants as defined under Indian Penal Code as well as under Prevention of Corruption Act talks of public servants as those who are compensated for their contribution by the government, which the politicians are. So the PIL specifically argues that public servants are only civil servants or government servants who are selected by competitive exams and paid accordingly. And politicians are above this definition. They are sworn in the name of God, and then they are given a privileged position. So they cannot be put under the category of public servants, so there cannot be any disproportionate assets case if the legislature decides their compensation. So that is the complete argument. It all is all on the basis of whether public servants definition will apply to chief ministers or not. So Supreme Court is looking into this case as well as the disproportionate assets case against Jayalalitha. Both are linked now. So this is they are tagged together. Then the third news is about Supreme Court says jails are overcrowded by 150%. Laments plight of inmates. So there are a large number of jails in India which are overcrowded. So the Supreme Court wants governments to take action against this. They want them to frame out a plan about how would they efficiently manage jails. So that has been asked by the Supreme Court to states and center, but they have not taken action. So now Supreme Court is again speaking on this matter and is asking to submit reports within a month and within 6 months to the center also, giving a complete framework. So even juvenile under trials, what are the status of these people? The Supreme Court wants to know. But of course in the jails it is seen that convicts are a minority. Majority of the inmates in jails are under trials. So of course this is also due to judicial delays. Then the next news item is about smaller parties. Independents in Rajya Sabha unite for more talk time. In the legislature, every party gets some time to speak during debates based on its strength in the house. Now smaller parties and independents, according to this formula, do not get enough time. So presently all smaller parties and independents, some majority of them have come together and formed a united group which has been accepted and acknowledged by the Vice President or the Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Hamid Ansari. So now because of this they will get sufficient time slot to speak as a representative of this group. So that is an initiative. This is the third time in the history of legislature, parliament in India after independence that such an initiative has been taken. So that is the news. Then the next news item is India to ban release of potent greenhouse gases. So Montreal Protocol, we have seen Montreal Protocol of 1987 on substances that deplete the ozone layer. So this has been successful. Hydrofluorocarbons and chlorofluorocarbons have been banned under this. Hydrofluorocarbons HFC 22, which is still produced, results in HFC 23 emissions by these industries, because these are used majorly in refrigerant as coolers, in refrigerators. So this is targeted. So now the Montreal Protocol wants to extend to these emissions also. So in this matter, the government of India has given its accent that we will also target these. The Indian companies which are producing this are not a majority. Few of them produce this gas, and these will not be compensated. The Environment Minister also accedes to this and says that they have already been benefited when earlier it was not a emission gas targeted, so they would be getting carbon credits for producing these gases rather than those ozone depleting gases which Montreal Protocol was mandated that they should not be produced. So this is the case that India is showing its will to go ahead in such international environment agreements too. Then the next news item is BRICS nations should trade more in each other's currency, says India. So international trade generally takes place in hard currencies, majorly dollars, euros. So now BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa want trade to take place, and India is proposing this, that trade should be in their own currencies. So that is better. They would have lesser risk due to global crisis which may take place, global volatility of the markets. So that is a proposal put forth. The next is India focused on offshore rupee bonds. This is again a proposal or an intent shown by the Indian government at BRICS forum, because BRICS has also developed its bank, New Development Bank, also informally called BRICS Bank. BRICS Bank is not an official name. BRICS leaders say that this is not just for BRICS members, but other members are also welcome to join this bank. So this is a developing countries bank as against the Western controlled IMF World Bank and also Asian Development Bank. So this bank will provide funding to infrastructure projects majorly in all countries, and Indian government now wants offshore rupee bonds as through this bank rather than green bonds. Green bonds have been called for by China. So green bonds are for environment specific projects, clean energy projects. So that aspect is not what India wants, but it wants rupee based bonds. So that would be easier for India to work on. Then next is India gets first Iranian oil parcel for emergency reserve. So India has established an emergency reserve in the southern states. So it is getting oil from Iran, which had stopped because of US sanctions on Iran. Now that has been lifted. So this trade is also taking place. We want UAE, Saudi Arabia also to provide us oil. So we are keeping a reserve which will last at least 2 weeks, so that if a crisis emerges globally, we have some reserve which can work and let the economy move ahead for some time. Then the next is Russia and India signed to deliver S-400 missiles. So S-400 missiles are long range, medium range, short range, complete coverage missiles, which Russia has also inducted in its army recently and is providing it to India as well. So Russia defense ties still continue. This deal will be signed during the BRICS summit. Then next is 21 abducted Chibok schoolgirls freed in Nigeria. We have already seen this. Boko Haram, the terrorist organization in Nigeria, had abducted around more than 400 schoolgirls here, but then few have escaped, and now presently it has released few of them, 21 specifically, in exchange of 4 terrorist members of this grouping. So government has released terrorists and these girls have been released in return. So this is the first time that they have been officially released. Then next is Maldives quits Commonwealth against unfair treatment after Nasheed ouster. So this is regarding the President Nasheed, who had been ousted from Maldives and a new government had been formed. Now Commonwealth wants specific inquiry on how the president had been ousted, because Nasheed is favored internationally, he has international support. So the coup is questioned, and now finally Maldives has decided to quit Commonwealth because of the pressure it is putting on it. Next is US enters Yemen war. hits rebel sites. So we have already seen that US was supporting Saudi Arabia in the war against Houthi rebels. Now it has officially entered into the war, claiming that Houthi rebels targeted its ships in the ships and missiles in the Red Sea, though they were not successful. So now we have directly entered into the war. So this is a negative development taking place here. Next is three personalities which we'll look at. One is Thailand's King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who died recently. He was the world's longest reigning monarch. He had complete control over Thailand's economy. The Thailand Prime Minister, Thaksin Shinawatra, who was also a telecom giant or corporate leader, he had brought in peace, stability, reduced poverty in the country, but he had been removed by a coup because he spoke a lot against the king as well. So that Thailand has seen political instability for so long. Next is Antonio Guterres, who we have already seen was approved by the UN Security Council. Now he has been approved by the UN General Assembly too, and he will be sworn in as UN Secretary General, succeeding Ban Ki-moon. So 1st Jan 2016 onwards, he will start off. And Bob Dylan, the Literature Nobel Prize for 2016, a little shocker. Bob Dylan, the songwriter and musician, has been awarded this prize this year. Literature Prize for his songs talking about peace, war, and philosophical aspects. So looking at each of these news items in detail now. The first one, Draft Water Bill, it's National Water Framework Bill. Nothing has been done as of now on this. It will be finalized and put forth before the cabinet before going to the parliament. But two important points, it will establish River Basin Authority which will study about the river basins and ensure how much should be the optimal and sustainable water which each state should get. And of course, it will be based on equitable, not equal distribution. And of course, the states have the say. They may finally adopt or not adopt this bill. Then the chief ministers, public servants, the question which has been put up. So section 21 12A of Indian Penal Code, Prevention of Corruption Act, all decide that every person in service or pay of the government or remunerated by fee or commission for the performance of any public duty by the government is a public servant. So of course politicians are also public servants, though the PIL petitioner tries to argue in a different manner, calling only people selected through competitive exams as civil servants or public servants, and they are a privileged class. Then the next news item is Supreme Court says jails are overcrowded by 150%. So we saw this. It is asking all state governments, majorly northern state governments, to look into the matter. Karnataka, Maharashtra are also the states which have overcrowded jails. So this is the status. You can look at this. Under trials, 67.6% are under trials. So convicts are less, under trials are lot. So that shows judicial delay also. Then smaller parties get a voice. So this is for the third time in the history. They will get more time to speak during debates because they have united together. India bans release of HFC 22 under the Montreal Protocol revision now. So it has agreed to this, and it has agreed to even without compensation. The only thing is that presently the emissions are not high because India, as we have also seen many a times, that it is a developing country. So our emissions will peak somewhere around 2026-28. But from now on, if we put a cap, then we need alternative gases or alternative technique in which this can be stopped. So that is also one aspect which we need to look at. Hydrofluorocarbons. These are substances that deplete the ozone layer. Then BRICS, we want to trade in each other's currency. BRICS, intra-BRICS trade in 2014, it says was less than 5% of the trade which these 5 countries had with the world. So BRICS accounts for 43% of world population, 15% of global trade. It is 20% of world's investment flows. But then within intra-BRICS is not high. So we are targeting that. And also on the slide lines of this BRICS summit, we are also talking of India-Mercosur preferential trade agreement being strengthened. So here we have asked Brazil to take the matter forward with Mercosur. Mercosur is a regional bloc, trade bloc, economic custom union in Southern America. So this is a name coming from the short form in Spanish because South America is Latin, Spanish country. So the members are these: Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Others are also associate members in South America. So we want them to be brought on forth. on this with India too. And of course, again with China, we have asked it to look into India's demand for greater market access for its rice, pharmaceuticals, as well as IT service industry. So that is also there. BRICS visa is being finalized, which will of course ensure better service, better movement of people, that is service providing. So that will also be in favor of India if it's finalized in this summit.